Hey, excited to be on another episode of Employee Gifting Simplified with CT. I've got my friend Ben Zander. He's going to be joining us this afternoon. Ben is the growth and development manager at Zander Real Estate. And we were just talking about it a little bit before the podcast started, but Ben and I have known each other for a couple of years now on the professional side, while he's been at a couple of jobs previously. So excited to connect with him and see what he's doing in his sphere and his industry to show appreciation to employees, to clients, and to anybody else that he's looking to motivate, retain, and incentivize. So Ben, looking forward to having you, man. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Trey. All a pleasure always to chat with you.
Yeah, excited. So tell us a little bit about, so we were discussing a little bit before, but you've kind of moved all over at least two states in the last little while. So kind of fill us in, like what were you previously doing? And then what are you doing right now? And kind of how did that transition happen? What did that look like? And what kind of motivated that change?
Yeah, I've been all over the place last 9 years. I got my bachelor's degree at BYU, Idaho in business psychology. Can't really do much with that without a master's degree. So I went to get a master's degree, Utah State University, in Logan, Utah. Master's in human resources and a dual master's degree to also have my MBA because I love the people focus. I got into it because just the training, the hiring, the development, the culture, the analytics of people, just I love it. I think people are the most incredible creation on the earth, and we have so much potential and capacity. Just we're all untapped creatures who can do so much, and it's fun. I love working in the business of people and helping us achieve our potentials. After I had my education in those, that was at the end of COVID, of course. So Fortune 500 internship on the other side on the East Coast got canceled because that company went bankrupt during COVID. A bunch of different side virtual part-time internships to finish my degree. And then I moved to the Boise area, right on the border of Oregon, with Wood Grain, one of the largest wood manufacturing and distribution companies in the country. And I was their corporate HR generalist. Loved it. My wife and I lived in this tiny town, Parma, Idaho, 2,000 people, didn't even have a stoplight. It was so
Oh, that's what's up. That's awesome.
fun.
What did you do for Wood Grain as part of as a corporate HR generalist, like we were talking about?
Yeah, I did a lot of hiring to start building trust with leaders and managers by helping them build and grow their teams the way to meet their goals is how I started the relationship building. Because in HR, it's all about the trust and the relationship with the managers because everything is done and taken better when the direct manager of the team works well and most efficiently and has the hard conversations with the employees. Everyone thinks HR comes in and does that. That's not the best way to do it. So me building a good relationship with those managers, helping them achieve their goals so they come to me to get the insights, the advice, the best practices so they can handle it the best way because then their team will trust them even more and they'll want to fight for them and they'll want to work so much harder for these people who have been such great advocates and handle things and take care of their problems and grow and develop them personally by doing it the right way. So
So it sounds like it tied in perfectly with like your business psychology degree. If you were like focused on
yeah,
using like the psychology of education and developing the managers to have those conversations, because the more you develop them, the more productive they are in their current roles, and then therefore their teams are more productive and the business as a whole is winning.
exactly. Yeah, I love it. Yes, you nailed it on the head, Trey.
Okay, so then you moved. So then after Wood Grain, what did you end up doing?
Then I moved to Polaris. This was like one of my dream companies. They've got incredible perks, such a fun culture, and they had apparel headquarters in Idaho on the other side of Idaho again, the east side of Idaho, southeast, really close to right where I went to school. So it seemed perfect. And I only stayed there a year and a half. And that's where I was first introduced to corporate traditions because Polaris has a lot of things put together and Fortune 500 companies have to. Recognition is one of the things. They did a lot of different things, annual bonuses after in like March, after the year. They did a lot of the use of their side by side snowmobiles and motorcycle. We did holiday recognitions. So things were good. Benefits were really good. It was a blast. I loved working there. I was an HR business partner there. I got to help travel to Spokane to a couple branches, apparel branches over there, um, and hit our 100 million revenue mark for the apparel branch while I was there. A lot of exciting things going on. And there was a little misalignment. So I left for something almost completely opposite, a small construction company in Idaho Falls. And then that's where I met you.
Yeah.
I had seen what corporate traditions and the recognition potential could be because we had hundreds of the little corporate tradition gift cards at Polaris, and we had nothing like that. It was called Flood and Fire Solutions, a disaster restoration construction company, and the owners and I worked directly together all the time. I was their HR manager, but really I was their head of operations a lot of times and worked with them directly to hire, train, develop, and implement new strategies with more than just people. And so that's what we started doing. We did monthly team member employee of the month celebrations where I'd put together a breakfast, a little self recognition slides together. It was fun. And really, it was kind of funny. I put a lot of time into different aspects of this recognition employee of the month, which the concept of I don't really love of doing a recognition only once a month, but the practice of it is a lot better than nothing.
Yes.
Being able to align it with our core values was something huge to me. Having each other recognize each other in voting every month and hearing what our team members have to say about each other. And the two things that everyone loved the most from recognition when I was there was first when we gave them preferential parking as one of the awards. They loved that because we had small parking lot, especially during the
Yeah.
winter.
Okay.
Who knew all the little things that you don't care about? We were trying to give away $100 worth of some recognition or prize every time, and I'd even switch it up and let them vote on what it would be, and they appreciated that, but they loved the parking spot even more. So that was funny. And then number two, what they appreciated the most was I compiled all of the voting and the nominations that everyone did every month for the employee of the month. And then at our Christmas party, I gave everyone an envelope of like 5 to 10, maybe even 15 things that their coworkers and employees said nice about each other. And that was probably the most meaningful recognition anyone ever said. There were numerous employees and even significant others at that event that thanked us for putting those together of like, wow, this is so cool. And just people, hard knock construction type people getting almost emotional, seeing what other people think of them in the best and nicest ways. So, so that was really cool. I enjoyed
That
it.
is awesome. I love that idea. I think a lot of managers can implement that's relatively low lift.
Yeah.
Like you're already capturing all of these reviews and all of this feedback from employees as you're doing employee of the month surveys and different things like that. And you just all that information into one place, relatively low lift, no cost.
Yeah.
And I think we've learned authentic appreciation, like real authentic appreciation that can't be manipulated or anything like that, goes the farthest, the longest, and has the most lasting impact. Oftentimes, and it doesn't require as much of a financial investment as some other recognition, like you said, like $100 gifts or different things like that. So that's cool. I like that. So tell me a little bit more after that. Then you moved on and
Yeah. So I was running a section of their business. They had three little companies, and so I was running one of them essentially by myself. I loved most of the opportunity.
yeah,
but not being able to have the final say and having conflicting interests and goals and aspirations just didn't seem like the long-term fit that I was looking for. And my wife and I, very spiritual, decided that it was time that we go back to our roots, our family roots in Utah. Her family from Pleasant Grove, headquarters of corporate traditions, and my family from South Jordan. And my parents had a real estate brokerage that they'd been running for 9 years. And as I was interviewing for other companies, they decided to give me a job offer. I was really hoping I'd have eventually, but I didn't think it was going to be for 5 or 10 years down the road, because their company's not that big, but there's so much potential, and I've loved it, and it's something meaningful that I have a long-term stake and investment in. Real estate builds more millionaires in the United States than any other industry. And there's a lot of brokerages that will just charge you a fee, just like it is to become an agent, to join them. Join our brokerage, pay a little fee, and you can do whatever and have this incredible commission split. And that's not what our brokerage does. We don't have any fees, but we have much more evenly split commission because of all the support that we provide. We don't want agents to just join us. We want to get the right fit who will really be able to care for our clients. And a slogan that we have here is, we build people one home at a time. And that's not just for our clients, but it's also for our agents. It's a lifestyle, it's a career, it's your financial freedom that we want to build here at Zander. And so it's a passion that you can see along with the human growth and development from psychology and business that I love. It's pretty fun. It's fun to be in Utah, fun to be in real estate.
Yeah. So tell me, so what do you feel like employees, based on your experience? I mean, you've worked for Fortune 500 companies, some of the largest companies in the country, to some really small, tiny construction-based companies. Based on your experience, what do you feel like employees are valuing more now than in years prior?
Yeah, everyone always thinks it's money, and money used to be 20 years ago, money was in the top 5, and now it's not even in the top 10. You have to make enough money to hit your baseline of what you need to get your needs met, but recognition in the last 10 years has always been in the top 3. Recognition, autonomy, development, growth potential, learning, and support is always in the top 5 now for the last 5, 10 years. And it was fun because I studied recognition in college as some of my studies. It just makes a huge difference. And so I love what you guys are doing, Trey, at Corporate Traditions. And I love that you guys genuinely care about your people, because it makes a huge, there's studies upon studies of what recognition does. And I know I never do it as much as I could or should, because you can always do more, because people they're working hard, doing good things all the time. And if you watched them all the time, we would all recognize each other 100 times more than we actually do. And so it's such a powerful and easy and simple thing, as much as a thank you or a good job or kudos. So
Okay.
I love it. Love what you guys are doing.
Hey, well, thank you. We enjoy these conversations, and I love being able to meet awesome people like you, Ben. They're looking to take things that have always been around, like with the real estate model, like with the brokerage model, but then flip it on its head and make it advantageous for everybody that's involved. There's a lot of value in that, and I think different trends are showing that, based on what you said. Like, recognition is in the top 3. Development, like, people want to grow, they want to feel like they're part of something and have the ability to develop and see growth. So what based on kind of what you've seen, what's other than the preferred parking spot, what are some other initiatives that you've been proud of that you've implemented that have been relatively low lift but have delivered a massive impact on the recognition side, that might have also led into the development side of developing your people that have been on your teams?
Yeah, one right now, a big thing is that's easy to point out. I also love the statistics and analytics side of people and the growth. And And so naturally, I want to see how everything looks and feels. And so I put together their stats, agents weekly and daily and monthly stats sometimes, and even just give them a shout out. Hey, congrats, you're in the top 3 of the leaderboard today, or this week, or this month. And And then even on the other flip side of that, saying, "Hey, you didn't do what you said you were gonna do." Employees, agents, people, they appreciate the accountability is a form of recognition. Being
Yeah,
told, "Good job, kudos, congrats." People love that instantly, being told, "Hey, you didn't meet it." They appreciate that too, even though in the moment, they usually don't act like it or don't say it, but when you hold to your word, hold to your standard, like, it's respected. When I started doing that, respect that agents had for me just grew instantly because they're like, okay, he's going to do what he says. And I can appreciate that. I want to work with people who will do what they say and they're not going to just hide or shy away from the tough conversations. So giving them the recognition of the respect to say no or to say, hey, maybe do this different or you got to do that. And just giving the both sides, the positive and the correction, are essential, I think, for recognition because one can't be there and be successful for a business without the other.
yeah, 100%. I see a lot of value. I'm thinking back to stories or situations that I've experienced in my career of managing, recruiting, training, developing teams, and really building the people. The people that I have the best relationships with are sometimes, and the ones who stuck with me the longest are the ones that I did hold accountable and didn't budge on what I said that I was going to do. And it's really funny. And you might have similar stories, but sometimes the people we don't hold to the same standard just they just fall into regressive habits and don't ever end up doing what number one, what they want to do, but also what we anticipate or expect of them. With that being said, I think you just said I was gonna my next question I was gonna ask is like, what's the most underrated way to show appreciation to an employee? And I think you nailed the nail on the head. Accountability is a form of recognition. I think that that's awesome because when people are held accountable, they're growing. When they actually say that they're going to do something and they keep a promise to themselves, that generates momentum and they're going to continue doing that and stay doing what they need to be doing, right?
100%. Yes,
That's awesome.
completely.
So the real question is when are you going to start implementing preferred parking there at Zander Real Estate?
Right?
When's that going to be
Yeah,
happening?
of course. Unfortunately, we share a parking lot with several different companies, so we don't get to decide that. So that's but we're gonna have a Christmas party in the end of next week, and I am gonna implement those nice things and get everyone to share some feedback with each other about each other anonymously. And so I'm excited to do that.
As we're kind of wrapping here up here, Ben, I think everything that what you're doing has been inspiring for me, and I've thoroughly enjoyed all of the conversations that you and I have had. I think we're cut from the same cloth and have a lot of similar beliefs around accountability and wanting to progress and fulfill our potential. And that's really what I think every person who is going outside of themselves to look for resources like this podcast or trying to meet with other people in their industry through networking events, they just want to get better and they want the opportunity to become the best versions of themselves. And I can tell that you and your team there at Xander are doing a great job of kind of leading from the front and kind of changing everything from the scope of what's traditionally accepted as a good real estate agent.
Yeah.
But how do people find you and connect with you if they have questions or want to learn more how exactly you compiled those lists of all the employee feedback, which
Yeah.
that is gold.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Trey. I appreciate it. It's great talking and working with you. You can get a hold of me yeah, LinkedIn is a great way. Ben Zander on LinkedIn. I'm also very active on our company Zander Real Estate team page. I run that one on LinkedIn as well. We're always just primarily recruiting new agents, but any contacts, any clients, love to chat about real estate, HR, recognition. If you want to chat, I'm here. Open book. If you want to collaborate, talk, ask questions, I love it. Love networking. Love collaborating with smart people. And everyone's got something, some value to add. Everyone's got some value and some information and knowledge that I don't have.
Yeah,
Everyone
exactly.
does.
Dude, I love it.
Hopefully you have better facial. You definitely have a lot better facial hair than I do too. I was telling you before that I'm not proud of just having a little mustache. It's my wife's birthday month, so this is her gift. But
I
normally
love
not
that.
like this. You look very
That's
sharp.
awesome. Hey, no, you're doing awesome, man. I think you're a friggin' stud. So in closing, What's the best way to spend $25 on an employee? If you had one way to spend $25 on an employee for recognition, what would you do?
And that's a good one. Give them an experience. Everyone always wants money. Give them experience, even if it's a night out for dinner or if it's some company swag. Give them something that they can have that they'll either a memory that they will remember or something that they can keep to feel and tangibly have that they will know that they are recognized because money will be spent and gone and they'll forget about in an instant. But something that they can experience and have is a lot more long lasting, and even 25 bucks can go a long way.
I love that, dude. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ben. This has been an uplifting experience for me, and I can't wait to see if anybody else has as level of an impact as you did with preferred parking. That's going to be awesome.
Thanks, Trey. Appreciate you.